Davis to the Timberwolves? Does that even make sense? While it's true that the NBA playoffs are still going on and are both even and blowouts depending on which series you're looking at, the thoughts of the offseason are already prevalent in various people's minds. And one group of fans who are really hoping for something big to happen is none other than the Los Angeles Lakers fans. Because they have fallen hard after their 2020 bubble playoffs title run. And they are screaming for personnel changes to happen, including one possible trade between the Lakers and the Timberwolves. We'll show you if it makes sense. The potential trade with the Timberwolves. The irony of this particular trade is that it's not complex in the least. In short, the T-Wolves would get Anthony Davis, and the Lakers would get a 2022 second-round draft pick and Karl Anthony Towns. That's it. It's not that complex. We know that there is a contingent of Lakers fans who would be outraged by this trade, as well as a contingent of Lakers fans who want to see Anthony Davis traded and would love this trade. And why would the Timberwolves trade their star big man for another star big man after making this great playoff run? We'll explain. Karl Anthony Towns does have some flaws in his game. More on those later, as they are the reason for the Timberwolves potentially shopping him in this trade. The Los Angeles Lakers would look past those faults and instead look at what this flip would give the team as a result. The Lakers are only making this trade if they have legitimate concerns about AD's ability to hold up moving forward. You cannot blame the team in the slightest if they do have these concerns, as big men don't typically become less injury-prone as they get into their 30s. If that concern is there, then flipping AD for a younger big guy that fits more with LeBron James' game could make sense. Davis was one of the most inefficient shooters in the league last season, while Towns is the best shooting big man that the league has to offer. The floor spacing with Towns at the 5 and LeBron James operating as the point forward would be incredible. It would also be much easier this season to fit Towns next to Russell Westbrook if the Lakers cannot trade him because of his ability to space the floor. Clutch could spin this as Davis going to Minnesota and getting his own team, knowing that the Lakers are looking to get younger at the position with no faith in Davis being the franchise cornerstone after LeBron leaves. Cat is going to make the All-NBA third team this season, and while he does not have the top 5 ceiling of Davis, he is younger, has been much more reliable, and can be the second best player on a title-contending team. Would the T-Wolves go for it? The Timberwolves would have to look past the injury concerns of Anthony Davis and would have to view his injuries the last 2 seasons as flukes. If they do that, then this is not hard to see why the Timberwolves could say yes to this trade, even after a remarkable playoff run. The team would be upgrading from one elite big to another elite big who, at his best, is better than Karl Anthony Towns. Davis has championship pedigree and can be the best player on a title-contending team, and next to Anthony Edwards, can potentially welcome in a title window in the coming years. That same window is not there with Cat, as they are asking him to be the best player while Edwards continues to grow. Edwards will eventually surpass Cat, if he is not already, but like Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, this does not seem to be a pairing that will get over the hump. A big reason why is the faults in Cat's game. He is so talented, but he has had a tendency to shell up in big moments and has committed some of the worst fouls in the entire NBA playoffs thus far. His baseline numbers in the playoffs this year are good, but anyone that has watched this series has seen the struggles at times by Cat, and it has been a bit frustrating to watch as he is so dang talented. All in all, it's a curious thing, but it could work, and that's the difference maker. But that's not the only set of teams that could go after him. Oklahoma City Thunder. If there's one team in the league that has the capability to trade for any player, it is the Oklahoma City Thunder, simply because of all the future assets they own. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey are likely untouchable in trade talks, but Luguentz Dort, Darius Bazley, Alexej Pokusevski, Theo Maledon, and Jeremiah Robinson Earl could all be moved in a massive package deal for Anthony Davis. Plus, the Thunder own the rights to 35 total draft picks through 2028. Any combination of draft picks and young talents are on the table for a trade involving the Oklahoma City Thunder right now, and Anthony Davis could be the perfect all-star for them to build with, especially since he's only 28 years old and the Thunder have an immediate need for a big man in their front court. 3 first-round picks, 1 or 2 second-round picks, Luguentz Dort and Darius Bazley, could be enough value for the Lakers to take back in a trade with the Thunder centered around Anthony Davis. That is, if they are fully committed to rebuilding. Charlotte Hornets. Another team besides the Oklahoma City Thunder who could show a level of interest in Anthony Davis is the Charlotte Hornets. For quite some time now, the Hornets have been trying to fix the problems in their front court, and while Mason Plumlee and recently acquired Montrezl Harrell have played well, these two are still not the future of the Hornets' front court. LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier have the backcourt tied up, but the need for a true threat in the front court is very apparent in Charlotte right now, and may be the final piece to making them a real threat in the Eastern Conference. Anthony Davis is not only an elite-level offensive talent when healthy, but he is one of the best defensive players in the league. Running pick-and-roll sets with LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier would be highly advantageous to the Charlotte Hornets, and they have quite a few assets to talk trades with. Gordon Hayward is now 32 years old, making him a possible offseason trade asset for this team. And Miles Bridges is going to be a very attractive trade piece for this team after the season he has put together. At just 23 years old and being a double-double threat on the wing, Miles Bridges could be exactly what the Los Angeles Lakers would like to add on the wing in a trade involving Anthony Davis. PJ Washington could be included in a trade for more future value going to Los Angeles, as could rookies James Bouknight and Kai Jones. The Charlotte Hornets also own a handful of draft picks, all of which they could package together in a trade for Anthony Davis. Given how the Lakers went out this season, anything is possible. Brooklyn Nets. Oh yeah, we said it. Given all that's happened so far this season, the Nets are definitely in need of help. In the offseason, it was said that Ben Simmons would like to play for one of the California teams, and there has been a strong link to the Los Angeles Lakers, especially since he is represented by Rich Paul and Clutch Sports, LeBron James' best friend and agent. Granted, things are still up in the air, but with all the new pieces from Philly, they might decide to go for broke once again. Bet on the big man in Davis and see if him, Simmons, Kyrie, and Durant would be able to make things work. Or they might be gun-shy because they've had to deal with injured players all season, and the last 2 before that. And thus, they would not want to risk it all for a guy who might not even be ready for the playoffs when the time comes next year. All in all, Anthony Davis may have gotten them their title in the bubble, but as we're seeing, his longevity is an issue that the Lakers need to handle right now. Or, in this case, in the offseason. And should things not go their way still, you can expect this Lakers team to underperform for years to come, which is not what winning time and showtime is about in Laker Nation. So, what do you think? What do you think of this potential trade between the Lakers and the Timberwolves for Anthony Davis? Do you think that this deal is possible and that the Lakers will go for it? Or will this be more of a case where they wait for other offers, potentially better offers, and see what happens? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the channel.